Hello, everyone. One second while I double check that I have my volume going. Perfect. 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 All right, you guys, giving you a second to get your notification and hop on here. So, welcome to tonight's live. So, we're doing these at 5:30 Mountain Standard Time every Monday. I like to call these our little soul delicious motivation for the week. For those of you that have been here before, welcome back. For those of you that are new, you are in for a treat because I absolutely love teaching. This is one of my favorite things to do. It's my purpose and passion to help others. So, um, you can hop in to my email list to get my monthly freebie. And you can also subscribe if you are coming in off of one of my Facebook platforms. You can also hop onto YouTube and subscribe to my Self Sabotage Antidote channel so you don't miss any of the awesome upcoming little series that I'm putting together for understanding how the laws of universal energy work. And when you do, I'm telling you that you can take so much control over your life, just understanding those 12 things. So, welcome. Okay, so let me get rid of my little thing there and get to my chat screen, and we will hop right into this. There we go. Also, as a reminder, depending on which platform you're hopping in from, I sometimes can't see your name. So I just want you to know it'll tell me that you're a Facebook user. And I don't want you to think that I don't love you if I don't call you by your name. All right, you guys, looking at this slide, how much does this resonate with anyone? This up here, full plate, right? Like right now, especially we're doing this call. It's like what a week before Christmas. Um, I think that I probably am not alone. Hi, Jan. I'm probably not alone in saying that a lot of us feel that way. So tonight I'm going to show you some really awesome things that you can do to help yourself with time management. And I love sharing things with you that are outside of the box, right? I'm not a really great person at doing things the way that everyone else does. And I had this thing I wrote down today. Um, if you want to be different, then you have to think differently, right? I don't like being called normal. I want to be that person that's not the same as everyone else, which is so interesting because as a kid, I wanted to fit in so bad. And then fast forward to now, and I don't want to fit in at all. So it's funny how we all kind of come like full circle. But so how do we get rid of this like full plate chaos? I'm going to show you how so that you can focus. And one of the ways that we do this is listening to ourselves and using techniques that are aligned for us instead of trying to do it the way that everyone else is. This is how we get stuff done. So, welcome, welcome. Who the heck am I? So, my name is Amy Elizabeth Jorgensen. I have a master's degree in education leadership. I also have a second one in food safety and quality, but not quite as applicable to what we're doing tonight. I'm a published author, motivational speaker. I love speaking. I'm also the founder of what is called ELV, or Elevate Life Vibration, which, if you stick till the end, you will get to see me do a mini client session so you can see what all that's about. I'm also the owner of Blocked Emotions, and I am certified in lots of different methodologies. Some of my favorites I incorporate and use with my clients now, but human design is probably one of my favorites to study and teach. I am also a veteran KC 135 pilot, which I like to say from the good old days when I used to be in the Air Force. So let's hop right in. I don't like to waste time, and I also like to talk quick. So here's our agenda. We're going to do some time mastery techniques, followed by a mini ELV client session. And I just realized that I think I accidentally closed my little ebook. So in the meantime, you can see there in your um, little comment description for this is um I can't think and find anything. Is my link tree. So you can hop in there and then you will be able to find the way that you can register. There we go. I have all these beautiful ebooks. You can find a way to put your name on my email list so you can receive awesome things like this. So today's we are talking about um, time management. All right, let me share this with you, get it into the right place. Man, sometimes when I restream off of this one, it's a little difficult to get it to work. Okay, so apologies up front. I'm going to re-share. There we go. It just doesn't work as well. It doesn't like it. I don't know why. There we go. It's almost like you have to beg it. Like, you really want to share this? Please. Okay, cool. So you can get a hold of this. If you want it, you can join the email list and I can send it to you. Or if you're already on the email list and you want it ahead of time before I send it out to the group, just let me know. I'll be happy to send it to you. So we're going to talk about time mastery unleashed. These are some innovative strategies to trump over the clock. And, the other thing I want to say is I was doing another training earlier today, and elevating other people is such a like phenomenal energy exchange. And so having gone through this like darkness myself and my own background from dealing with some pretty significant traumas, um I encourage you to some of you sit and think, well, I don't feel comfortable going live. I don't feel comfortable sharing a message. I don't feel comfortable writing a book. Whatever that is, it's totally fine because it's probably just not something you're aligned with. And I know that we teach a lot like, oh, get out of your comfort zone and do things. But really, if you do human design, that's not really how it works and you'll just continue to fight yourself. So, but I will encourage you to please, because as you can see in this document, I put a lot of time and effort into this. Also, like, I made this image. Isn't it so cool? I make my own images. I do all of this article stuff. So I would just love it if you would share with other people, just because we all want to be this collective energy of lifting each other up and helping each other. And, we kind of get into that space where, like, if sometimes when I invite people to come and watch my live or hop on because I do my little morning 60-minute or less motivators and people want to know what I'm trying to sell them. Of course, I have things for sale because, I do, and I have to make a living and feed my family. But no, I don't do this I go live for you. I don't go live for me. I make things like this document for you. I don't make these documents for me. I don't need them in this beautiful format to be able to follow my time techniques. So just from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you sharing, because ultimately my goal is to touch as many people and bring as many people out of that darkness that I've been in myself back to a space of happiness. So unfortunately, I've learned through the hardships of life from losing, family members and my own daughter, that people can be really mean and cruel, especially when those times, you talk about like, oh, I'm drowning. And I feel like the times in my life when I was drowning the most is when people kicked me in the face the hardest. And I just don't want you to have to go through that. If I can be a person that helps you to um, find a little bit of relief from that cruel insensitivity of the world, then I want to do that for you. But in essence, you can help other people too, right? Like, if I reach out to you and you reach out to 5 people, like the spider web effect, the butterfly effect of energy work is just amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And let me get into the right screen. So here's the way that the mind works. So I, as an NLP practitioner as well, I do a lot of study around like the subconscious and understanding how the subconscious mind works in comparison to how our cognitive mind works, because it really is like having this key that unlocks the ability to, like, I like to think of the subconscious and the conscious mind. They're kind of like children fighting, like siblings fighting. And when, if you grew up with siblings, or you've had children of your own, or you've just watched children, like there's nothing more zenful than when your kids are getting along and they're playing well. And that's kind of how it goes with like the subconscious and the cognitive mind. You need them to be on board somewhat and aligned together because they both play really intricate parts in the things that we do. And when they're kind of like at this, um, they're not like their polarity is like that opposite and they're pushing away, it really makes our life a mess. And then we end up with physical complications. And so one of the things about time is that when you fixate on this thought of which, think of this belief, like when someone offers you an opportunity, most of likely you're going to see something like, I don't have enough time or I don't have enough money. Those are two really common things when we go to dive into something. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. And so I don't have enough time, like literally plagues us our entire lives. It's very much a negative core belief that we have. And the problem with this is that if you think you don't have enough time, then you don't have enough time because you say this, even if it's not out loud, your subconscious loves to align and make you happy unwillingly, sometimes to you. But if you don't have enough time, you will continue to not have enough time. And so if you think this every day, oh my gosh, as you're running around like a crazy maniac, I don't have enough time to get everything done, your perception of I don't have enough time to get anything done becomes your reality because we create our own reality. So, based off of your perceptions become your beliefs, and your beliefs are your reality. And so, that's how come you sometimes look at other people and you're like, I don't understand because this person's getting like 7,000 times more things done in the day that I am, but we literally all have the same amount of seconds and minutes in the day. And so it's just the perception and the things that they're doing. So when you can change your perception, you can change anything. And that's why, but you can't change your perception, right? If you don't give yourself a reason, like why would I suddenly just have more time unless it just magically appears? And so by aligning your cognitive mind with these techniques that I'm going to show you, it gets you on track to be like, wow, I really can have more time if I do things a little bit differently, right? I even do this. Like I'll get stuck. I'll be like scrolling through social media and realizing that I'm pointlessly watching things that really aren't being productive. I don't like to be on social media unless it is benefiting my business in some way or I'm helping lift someone else up. So scrolling through, hello, welcome, scrolling through social media, just watching, pointless videos is not getting me anywhere. So I'll have to be like, hey, I need to stop because if I'm not doing something purposefully, then I'm wasting time. Right. So, but we all do this. So if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, you're just not making any progress despite efforts, well, join the club because we all do that. So here's the uplifting news. So we're going to go through these techniques. I'm going to show them to you. Once again, if you're just hopping, you can join my email list. The link to my link tree is at the top of the description of this video. And I can send this to you. You can also just message me directly and I'll send it to you. I know, isn't it cool? Like I'm making all these super cool PDF ebooks so we can put them together as one big book. And then it's like 365 days of soul deliciousness. How to literally control your brain. All right. So here we go. Let's talk about these one by one. There are 4 of them. And then, as I mentioned, we'll do a little mini client session at the end. So, task batching by your energy level. You guys, this one is so underused, but it's so beneficial. Okay. I'll just use my own examples for these because obviously that's my world and that's what I know. So, um, uh, time management to me is time is worth more to me than literally anything just because I'm running my full-time practitioner business. I'm training other practitioners to use the ELV method. I'm doing personal client sessions. I'm making videos. I have a full-time corporate career. I'm a landlord juggling 4 rentals. I have children, the whole gamut, right? My crazy dog. So when I have a weekend, as much as I would love to say that I just, I'm sipping sodas on the front porch, which would be really not a good idea since it's like 30 degrees outside, but you catch my drift, right? So time is really important to me. And I love being busy. And by the way, those of you that are like, "Oh, staying so busy that, you're keeping yourself from being able to have time to relax is a sign that you need to work through some trauma in your life." That's actually a false belief. That's a negative core belief based off of there are people that do use staying busy to avoid thinking through their things, but some of us, back to human design, that's my design. So I can't even tell you like the beautiful relief that I got because I heard that all my life. My mom would be like, "You don't have to always be going. You don't have to always be doing. You can just relax and hang out at the house. You don't have to go, go, go." So I thought that was something bad about myself, but in reality, it's not. So understanding that and allowing myself to work as much as I, desire is really how I'm designed. So task batching by energy level. So you organize tasks based on the energy level that you have paired with the energy they take, right? So me writing a little tiny social media blurb that's like a paragraph with a little image that maybe I already have saved, right? Takes a whole lot of not a lot of energy. So making an entire YouTube video on the law of attraction takes a lot of energy because I have to, make myself look somewhat decent. I have to get all my stuff set up. I have to create a script of what I'm going to say. I have to have the energy that when I get on camera, I'm not like, "So today we're going to talk about the laws of attraction," right? Like, nobody wants to watch that. So, getting myself like into this zone of excitement to teach you, it takes a lot. And so, I don't, if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Man, I'm really feeling like it. I'm feeling very sparkalicious today." That's the days that I know that, like, okay, um, I'm going to make a video. And if I'm like, "Yeah, not feeling it today," I may not even work on anything associated with my business. I may actually need to clean my house because it will make me feel more organized and aligned. So I literally ask myself, another underrated thing, I do talk to myself a lot, but I'll say, "What do you really feel aligned to do today?" Because forcing myself to do things, I'm not very effective at it. I'm not very efficient because I'm doing things that I don't actually want to do. So I'll decide like, "Okay, where's my energy today? Am I more feeling like if I organize things, I'll be, more productive? Is that kind of feeling where I need to be?" Depending on where my energy level is how I spend my day. Now, are there times where I really just don't want to do anything at all? Absolutely. Just don't get stuck in that rut. But I'll allow myself to be like, "Okay, I will let you watch," and I do talk to myself like this. "I will let you watch an hour, or I will let you watch one episode of your favorite thing, but then you have to do the dishes," right? Because I don't want to be super unproductive. And there is a part of, yes, you're aligning with task by energy, but you also do have to put some action and motivation into it. So you don't just become a veggie. All right. Brain dumping. This is a great one. I love this because I was telling someone today we're having a Christmas thing tomorrow, and I know that I have to bring sour cream and cheese. And I jokingly was like, "I'm gonna go home all night and be like sour cream and cheese, sour cream and cheese, sour cream and cheese, sour cream and cheese," so I don't forget to bring the sour cream and cheese tomorrow because I don't want to be that person. But literally, that's what your brain is doing all the time. Like, you may not even be aware of it, but you're like, pay the bill, pay my house payment, pay my house payment, take my kids to school, do the homework. What's for dinner? What's for dinner? You have all this stuff going on in your head. You're not even aware that it's doing it because your subconscious remembers everything. So, brain dumping is a really great way to clear out some space. So, is what I do is I literally get some post-it notes. If you're into like different colors, get them out, write things down that you need to do. So just brain dumping. It doesn't matter how far out it is, it doesn't matter how crazy it is. I want you to write down every single task that you have to do in the moment that you're doing this brain dumping. In fact, you can even write down really simple ones that you have to do or you're going to do regardless, like doing the dishes. Just write it down. And then you look at them and you start to divide them. And you're going to keep these somewhere that you're going to review them because you want to see them daily, but then review them weekly to see based off of stuff. That's the other thing too, is don't get stuck in this mindset of, well, this task was going to take me a week to do, but now it's probably going to take me like 3 weeks because I changed some of the details around it. And that's okay. Allowing yourself to be able to be flexible with that. But things that are really taking less than 5 minutes to do. So let's say like you don't realize how big of an anchor it is if you just know you need to pay a bill and let's say Thursday's payday and you know you need to pay a bill and Thursday comes and goes and you don't do it. Friday comes and goes and you don't do it. Like you don't realize how big of an anchor that is on your subconscious is like holding on to that. Like it knows you need to do it. It's not directly telling you, but it's like hanging out there and it's an energy weight. So things that I know just take 5 minutes to do, I'm just going to get them done. This has a win-win because it clears that from my subconscious immediately, but it also is allowing me to look at an accomplishment. So the subconscious, we'll talk about this in a second when we go to this third one, non-negotiable tasks. It doesn't really care what you do, it just views it as a win. So, it's not like a soccer game where think of it like when your kids are playing soccer and they're like 8 or something. Like when they finally start keeping score. Your kids don't really care if they win by 17 or they win by 1 at that age. They just know they won, right? So same goes with the subconscious. So clear these off, short, middle, long term. You can set that up for however it looks for you. I do 5 minutes a day, a week, a month, longer than a month, and then I'll set them out. And then when I have the time allocated, I pull these down and then I start to be able to do them. So I'm fitting in what I have with the time that I have, but I'm literally clearing these out of my head so I don't have that like constant what's on the shopping list, what's on the shopping list, what's on the shopping list. So clearing tasks from your mind reclaims this mental space and gives you lots more energy because you're not fixating and thinking about it. Non-negotiable tasks is one of my favorites. So beginning your day back to like setting the intention for completing 3 tasks. It does not matter what they are, okay? It's really important with this one that you realize the objective is the completion. It isn't what you actually got done. So, once again, we're going back to your subconscious viewing this as a win. And that's what we want to do because we're creating a rhythm of success that your mind will eagerly anticipate. And then it strives to maintain it because your subconscious is your biggest fan. It likes you to be happy. It's just that most of us don't know how to connect with it. So we're in this constant, like, disillusional, like, it's almost like most of our subconscious need to go to anger management because we just don't know how to get along with it, but it really does want to make you happy. So your subconscious views this as an achievement. You'll start creating this rhythm and boom, bada bing. Before you know it, every day you have this beautiful habit of I get 3 things done. And then you select the 3 things going back to that first one based off of the energy that you have in the morning. And it views that as an accomplishment. So there are days where I'm like, I'm going to create a whole PDF file is one of my things. 2, I'm going to work out for an hour. 3, I'm going to hand make rolls. Those are some pretty, significant time consuming tasks. And there may be other days where, if you're at that point where it's like, number 1, I'm going to take a shower. Number 2, I'm going to let the dog outside and not forget that it's out there. Number 3, I'm going to take out the trash. Like you make them aligned with where you're at so that you view it as a win. All right. The fourth one and the last one we're going to talk about is named after a tomato. This technique is really cool. It is named after those little red tomatoes. The guy that created this technique had one of those old kitchen timer tomatoes. So Pomodoro technique. You set a timer for 25 minutes. You work uninterrupted. And when I say uninterrupted, you have to put some action into this. You have to really make sure that you are allowing yourself to not be interrupted. Because if you don't put in that boundary, it doesn't work, right? So make it so you're not interrupted. Work for 25 minutes. Once that timer goes off, take a break. So like if I was doing this right now and set my timer, once my timer goes off and I take my 5-minute break, I'm not going to still sit here at my desk because that's not really a break. I'm going to remove myself, go somewhere else in my house, do something else for 5 minutes to really give myself a good break. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to reset my timer for 25 minutes and I'm going to rinse and repeat. So working in short bursts keeps you focused, especially if you are like me. I don't even like to use the word attention deficit because that's not really what a lot of us have. we really, once again, are going back to our human design. Like, we just don't realize that we're wired and designed a certain way. I can get a million things done, but I have to make sure that I'm focusing in little short bursts. So I'm not the type of person. I really struggle if I have to sit down and do like listen to a training for an hour is way too much for me. Okay. Cause it's just, I get really bored. So try that. I'm gonna show you my cute little picture. I just love it. Look how cool that is. That clock is cool. Yeah. Okay. Once again, you can have access to this. Join my email list, but you can send me a message and just let me know, and I'll send it to you in a PDF. Kate, guys, we're gonna hop into doing this cool. I'll probably have to reshare my screen again. Oh, it's just my Internet Explorer that I'm using. It doesn't like this browser. Da 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 da. But I can't use my camera without it. Yes, I know everyone can see my screen. All right, so I'm trying to switch it over. Cancel. Try it again. You can do it. Come on. I know you can. It doesn't want to. All right. Well, let's try this. When you don't succeed, try again. There we go. Right? Just another thing. Okay. So I'm going to show you my ELV technique. A lot of you, if you've never seen energy work before, you're going to be blown away and be like, I don't understand how this works. I have a PDF for that too. If you would like, really cool. And I'm going to look into this other one because I was watching something today and it was talking about somebody putting a researcher putting, by the way, I love to learn. So I'm all about like, I need to know how this really works. Um, a researcher was doing a study. They put some yogurt in a petri dish, and then a person that was 6 feet away was having different emotions, and it was actually affecting the vibrational field of the yogurt. So I do my sessions remotely with intention. You can connect to other people's subconscious. You shouldn't do it without permission, but we do have the ability if the other person has the intention, and so do you. And um, like I said, I'm not going to go into this a whole nother video. But it's amazing, amazing the studies that they do on this of collective conscious energy and how quantum physics comes into play, and it's absolutely mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, but at the same time, it's like if we would teach kids this in school, I'm telling you right now, people would not have illnesses that they do. They would not be walking around at the age of 40. Somebody made a comment the other day and I was like, do you know it's a negative core belief that think about this. As you age, you should become ill. As you age, your body should break down. All of you believe that. I'm not going to say all of you. That's a broad term. Most of you. The majority of you believe that. What if it's simply just your belief? Because you really don't have to deteriorate like a dying plant that lives at my house. Like you just don't. Okay. I'm telling you. Okay. So here we have our clients, male, age 45, issues, knee, hip, pain, feeling stuck. He's self-employed. Okay. And so one of those things that happens kind of when you get in your own business, we call this like a creative block. So is what happens is the more stress you get, the more stress you get, the less you are able to focus on like bringing in awesome things for you to have like opportunities to come up with like cool things to do for your business to kind of get like traffic flowing and all this kind of stuff. And oh, by the way, like really for my practitioner group, for those of you that are in the Soul Centered Academy, I was thinking about this the other day. Like literally, I probably in my lifetime invested upwards of like $500,000 learning how to run my business, streaming like I am right now, using editing tools to make my videos, making a PDF document, all this jazzy stuff, right? And I'm like, man, I should just add that to the practitioner area of like how to actually run your business and make graphics and do all this stuff. Because guess what? As I was, doing my business, like I don't really have time I don't really have the resources to spend, figuring it all out. So I was like investing in like a million different things and then half the time not even like taking the courses. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, you might as well benefit off of the amount of money that I've spent learning how to do this. Okay. So here we go. So is what we do is with intention, we make this connection with the other person. Think about this kind of too as like how you're probably really close to somebody and you've maybe felt like, oh, I felt like my brother got in a car wreck today, or oh, I felt like my mom was sick, or oh, you think about somebody and then the phone rings. Okay. It works just like that. So we're gonna do this awesome connection. Um, And you're going to see that I'm going to turn my camera off because it's just not my favoriteest thing to watch myself make really weird faces later when I start channeling in. So people either, and I'll turn it back on to show you this part, but you will see energy practitioners do muscle testing like this. So they'll ask a question like, my name is Amy, my name is Bill, and this is yes, and this is no. And it's amazing. Also have some cool documentation on how that works. But after having done this for so long, I channel in what I see. So, I make weird faces when I do it. So let's see what we have going. So we always start with like a basic question, like, what is it that we're looking for today? So my client will send me like, okay, these are my issues. And then I'm just going to work with the subconscious and be like, hey, what is this? So I can see this is an event. So is what will pop up is what the subconscious wants us to work on. That's going to be like the most beneficial with the intention being set on helping to balance the client with the issues that they've given. Okay. So let me move my cord for my, whoops. There we go. So I can type. Okay. So there's an event from childhood. We can actually ask about age 8. Okay. And then you'll see like your notes will look like this. Okay. So mine kind of come to me haphazardly all over the place. But if you're one of my practitioners, I have you do these in muscle test in order. So I just want you to know if you see me typing in separate places, that's just part of how my channeling works. Okay, so 5 things, childhood events. And I do have, we can text my client. So childhood event from age 8. Something, something to do with charity. Okay, so we're going to kind of see what's going to come up here and we're going to clear these away. So when we release everything that you see down here, these are like the underlying things that I call the glue. So they're being held together. These items can happen throughout your life at different times. They kind of stockpile and attach to each other, right? So these are the glue. When you get rid of these, they are affecting certain locations of the body depending on where they're located. So they are like having sticks or garbage or whatever you want to think about it, like blocking the rivers of your body. So they create problems for you because when these blocks occur, it first affects your energy system. But when your energy system starts to be affected, which you are an energy source above anything else, when your energy source starts to be affected, then you start seeing it as signs of a physical breakdown in the body somewhere. So, a lot of my clients have specific locations where they like to collect these things. So, they'll always be like, oh, I'll get rid of my hip pain and then life will stress me out again and I'll have hip pain again. It just happens to be the spot on their body where it likes to accumulate. And some of my clients, it changes, can vary all the time. But this is why you can go to the gas station, have somebody steal your spot. You're just tired anyways, so you suddenly are just raging. You get back in your car, you storm away, and by the time you get home, your left elbow is just throbbing like nobody's business. And you're like, this is crazy. I don't remember hitting my elbow on anything. I don't know why my elbow's hurting. And like 3 days later, you're just really frustrated because your elbow is just hurting. And it's just because you've collected things there that have laid kind of dormant. And then when you went to the gas station and you got upset with someone, that rage, anger, whatever you were feeling went into that same spot. And it basically was just like the cherry on top of the cupcake. Like it was too much. And so now suddenly everything that's accumulated in your elbow area is inflamed and blowing up. So the beautiful thing about this process is you're not going to go into a traditional anywhere and have them look at your elbow and say, well, this is from you raging at someone at a gas station. So, one of the coolest things that I had happen for myself when I was going through these and working on my family members, and I had my kid telling me, he's like, my heel hurts so bad, especially like when I go up and down stairs. The back of it is just like so stretched out. It feels like it's ripping. And like somebody is grabbing a hold of my heel and like pulling the muscle out of it. And he was in a lot of pain. And so I said, okay, were you open for me to look at it energetically? Let's see what we can find. And he said, yes. And right away, like it just hit me. And I said, have you been on Facebook arguing with someone lately? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, so you are in a conflict or a confrontation with someone on social media, and that's what it's from. And so we cleared it out and got rid of that post. And literally within an hour, like his foot wasn't hurting anymore at all. Whereas he was starting to get to the point where he's like, I need to go in to get some medical care because this hurts so bad. I can barely walk. And I don't know about you, but when you start having a physical issue and you don't really have an explanation for it, it's a little bit, right? It creates fear, and the fear just adds and makes it worse. So that's why we are so blessed to be able to do this kind of work, and why I'm so passionate and excited to be able to teach other people how to do it. And you may be sitting there thinking, well, I don't have this gift. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We all have this divine ability. It's just that for some of us, it's more suppressed than others. And all you have to do is do some like you have some really cool exercises that you can do so that you can get in tune with that part of your intuitive center. So basically, as kids, we're born with it. We're running around. We're like imaginative. You're playing, outside in the driveway, but to you, you're in like, Wonderland forest of make believe. And adults just squash it out of you because they tell you to grow up, stop imagining things. And imagination is the key to this center of your energy system that allows you to be intuitive and to download things. And so once we get back into that connection, which is why people are like, you act like you're a little kid. You're right, I do, because connection to your inner child is one of the easiest ways to get into that space. And so, yes, I do have trinkets and I run around in pajama pants and which is funny. I went into work the other day and I was in my pajama pants, and one of my staff members was like, I can't decide if you've just completely given up on life or what's going on here. And I was like, no, like I love life so much. I just don't care. These are comfortable and I'm not coming in on my day off to thing dressed up. Right. Okay. So this childhood event, age 8, something to do with charity. There's also a toxic phrase. So toxic phrases are um, things that we read. It could be directed at you or something that you overhear. Your subconscious hears tons of things that you're not aware that it does when you're like out sitting around in public and people are having conversations. This toxic phrase is actually associated with the childhood event. So hearing someone or something along those lines, we don't want your charity. We're not worrying about spelling right now, by the way. No, well, I'm never worried about spelling, but okay. So sometimes when we see two things together like this and they look like they make sense and they go together, they may or they may not. Sometimes the things in the groups don't make any sense at all. We don't care. It's not us. And the further away we get from needing to make sense of things, the better off we are. Because when you need to make sense of what you're finding, it's your cognitive mind getting in the way and it can really block what you're doing. Um, so now we have some negative core beliefs. This one is, oh, and by the way, like I have an extensive Google document is how I train my practitioners to do this. So sometimes I reference the document, sometimes they just pop up. But accepting help. No, I don't want a speech service. Accepting help Nope, accepting help makes me weak. Okay. Or if you're like me, you're watching this and you're like, "Oh my word, I can only imagine how many of these I have stuck into my subconscious." There's another one, it's kinda similar, but sort of the same. Accepting, asking. Asking for help makes me weak. Oh, another one, similar. Negative core belief. Asking for help makes me vulnerable, which is leading into another one. Asking for help is unsafe. Sometimes these play off each other like this, and sometimes they don't. Okay, so now I'm just going to say, are there more things going on that are negative core beliefs, toxic phrases? There's another toxic phrase. Just tough it out. Okay. And now we're into a pathogen. So bodies can have your body's full of pathogens, really. Some of them are more some of them are supposed to be there, like your microbes and your digestive system, but we carry pathogens around all over the place. I have a great story about a parasite that I got in Egypt one day when you're bored. Um, Pathogen, this is a fungus type energy. So now that we have these things gone, alls we're doing is helping the subconscious to be like, these are the places that you can balance, right? I'm not actually healing my client. My client's body is doing it. I'm just the like inner um connection helping them to be able to do this. So and I'm s- there he just said he knows what event this is. So we'll see. Let me see. So we'll see if he'll say what is it from. Okay, so while he's doing that, we're gonna do there's a toxin. So toxins also they can come from food, natural body processes like metabolic toxins, electromagnetic sources, heavy metals, all kinds of stuff. This toxin is something electromagnetic from a um, office. Okay. Um, Also physical places, salivary glands, aorta, and their last one is some I'm just trying to go through some things. Okay. Okay, so once we find these, I just double check and I say, did I miss any? Is there anything else that needs to be cleared? There's a sixth one. Sometimes you can't see things until you get finished. Some resistance, energy to if I let go of this, I will be unhappy. Nope, I will be being disrespectful. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to clear these away. So just with intention, we're clearing away. So we're getting rid of this negative core belief, getting rid of a toxic phrase. We don't want your charity. We're getting cleared. Accepting help makes me weak. Centering and aligning, getting rid of a negative core belief, asking for help makes me weak. Sending all of these out through the feet. Asking for help makes me vulnerable. Asking for help makes me unsafe. Releasing a toxic phrase of just tough it out. And also this resistance energy. If I let go of this, I'm being disrespectful. And then with those gone, we're going to balance and clear away pathogens. We're clearing away this toxin, balancing the aorta, balancing salivary glands. And then finally, we're just going to bring the blood oxygen concentration back to a balanced state. Okay. Um, so we're also going to do this. I'm in alignment with the laws of universal energy to release without resistance any negative ties, binds, or cords associated with receiving or giving help. Okay, I'll fix this later. I'm not worried about the typo. Okay, so this is also what we can do. So things we release can leave empty spaces. And so we do affirmation or whatever you want to call it so that we can replace what we are releasing. So let me just check. Okay. So the client's telling me that there was an event where the family had just gone through a hardship and they had somebody bringing over some donated items, and the mom freaked out about not uh, being, no, actually, it says the parents, I guess I shouldn't assume. The parent freaked out about, he actually said it was the dad. The dad freaked out about people bringing over charity. And so he actually knows exactly what this is from. Now, sometimes, like, these all appear to be very interconnected, right? But they don't have to be. They could be like completely different. You could have a negative core belief of I'm ugly, which doesn't make any sense. It has nothing to do with the cognitive mind thinking about we don't want your charity. So just know that that's why this process is so amazing. But these actually happen to look like they're all kind of interconnected based off of that event. Now, what if the client doesn't remember what it is and they're like, I have no idea what this is? It doesn't matter because once again, it's your cognitive mind getting in the way of things. And the cognitive mind doesn't need to know because it's the subconscious working on it. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to share that with you. Once again, you can join my email by jumping into LinkedIn, subscribe to my self sabotage channel on YouTube because we're going to be doing some laws of universal energy videos. And they're literally like the keys to unlocking everything you can ever imagine and desire. So there you go. I hope you have a blessed night. And we won't do this next week because it's Christmas, right? Is it? Yes, on Monday. So we will skip next week, but I will see you again after that. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week.